Alrighty, today is Tuesday, May 15th. I'm going to start off by opening my weather log. Now I'm assuming at this point that you have done graph number 1, which was date versus sunrise versus sunset. You have printed that off, and if you wanted to color it and make it nice and pretty, then you did. And then you also wrote your name on the backside in pencil, not in pen, not in marker, not in permanent marker, pencil on the backside. Then turned it into me. If you've done that already, now you can start on graph 2. Graph 2 is going to be plotting date versus today's low versus today's high. Pretty simple. We got to make sure this is in the same format as the last graph that we did, so we want a space in between. And we're going to start by selecting date. I can do that by clicking on the column at the top, column A, and it's going to select all that information. I'll do it for column J, which is today's low, and column K, which is today's high. So date versus today's low versus today's high. When I go up to charts, going to again choose a line graph, and let's do it. Here's my graph. Now, it did a good job. It plotted today's low and today's high. That's good. First thing I see when I look at this is that I have dates running straight through the middle of my graph, which it's okay. It's okay. It looks weird, but that's okay. I'm going to change that. All I have to do is select that axis and double click it. Now this is my x-axis, and it generally runs at 0. Actually, I don't want to select that yet. It generally runs at 0, which is why it's put right in the middle of the graph, because we have negative temperatures and it's just cutting right through them. So I actually need to go to my y-axis, double click it, and I'll go to my scale on the side. The last category that's checked, it says horizontal category, axis crosses at 0. And sure enough, that's what we see down here. It crosses right at 0. And so we want to change that number. The temperature goes down to about close to negative 50. So I might want to put negative 60, just to make sure that the axis is down below any of my plotted information on there. And now, because I changed it, it's actually gone too low for me to see. If I click on this middle part of the graph and just drag it up, then my dates pop up underneath it, and it looks good. I want to make sure that I set this how I want to. Now, it's going from August 29th to September 29th to October 29th. It's going 1 month in between each interval here, which is quite an amount of time. And what I'd like to do is change that. I'd like to put some more dates in between those. So I will double click it. I will come up to scale. And in this case, let's see, I can set it up as date. It already has it set that way up here though. The major unit is set for 1 month, and that's what I see down here. I don't want it to be 1 month, so I'm going to put it into days. And you can see right away it's 1 day, so it puts in every single day, and it's just a million little lines down there, which is just too much. So I may make it 7 days, which is 1 week, or if I still think that's too much, maybe I'll put 10. That spreads it out just a bit. I'll let you make that call. If you want to make it 5 and you like it showing all those dates, I'll let you make that call. I'm just going to leave mine at 7. Again, I'm not going to count off because you don't put 7. Don't put exactly as I do, or at least you don't have to. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now again, we're losing a little bit of space there, so I'm going to stretch this out. So like that, drag it up. Okay, here we have degrees, and that's pretty good. I may want to put another bar in between that. So instead of having it every 20, maybe every 10 for degrees, and so I'll go to scale. Major unit. The major ones are the ones that actually have the lines going across and are labeled. So instead of 20, maybe I'll put 10, and you can see it changes the degrees down there. Maybe I'll go a little bit further. See what that looks like with 5. Again, play around with it. This is your graph. I'll let you decide what you think looks best and which gives us the best information without looking too crowded. So I'm going to go with 5. I kind of like that. And I'll leave it there. Now I want to pull up my toolbox, my formatting palette. And I see it pop up here. I would like to add in my title, so I need to go up to my chart title. A good name for this might be Highs and Lows in Nenana, Alaska. Don't forget your comma. And then include the year 2011, 2012. Maybe I want to format the horizontal axis. Date. And then the vertical. I'm going to capitalize them at the front. Temperatures, degrees Fahrenheit. Again, that's option 0 to get the degree symbol. Fahrenheit. Make sure you include that. If it's not Fahrenheit, it could be Celsius. It could be Kelvins. It could be who knows what else. Okay, so make sure it says Fahrenheit, because America is one of the few countries that actually knows what degrees Fahrenheit means. Most of the other countries are on Celsius, and most people in America have no idea what that means. So put Fahrenheit. I would want you to keep editing, make it how you want, personalize it. For this one, I think you definitely are going to want to go through and give these graphs, after you print it off, give them colors with markers, which takes a steady hand and a little patience and a little time. But I think what you will find is if you select colors where one is kind of light and the other is kind of dark, it makes it a lot easier to see these. And so I'll let you go ahead and go through and format your own colors, but you might make, instead of today's low being blue, you might make it a very light blue. And then today's high, instead of being just a regular red, you might make it a little bit darker of a red. That's your call. And you might add some gradient to the background, or you may add something else into the graph. That's great. Take your time, make it look nice, and keep in mind it's not in color. So if you want it to look nice and pretty in color, we have markers. You can color it at the end of class once you print it off. On the back side, write your name in class period in pencil, not in marker, not in pen, in pencil, and then turn it into me. Good luck.